Okay guys, so here we are inside the Maps API rank tracker, and the first thing I'm going to do here is to pull up the name of the business that we are trying to establish the rankings for, which is Bugs Life Pest Control in Banksia Grove. This is a pest control business that I control here. So the first scan that I'm going to do is for German cockroach control. I'm just setting the grid size to 9 by 9 there, so that's 81 pins in total and a 1 kilometer distance between them, so that gives us 81 square kilometers. And you can see there all that sea of red. What that basically means is that 8 or 9 companies, the 8 or 9 plus means 8 or 9 companies are trying to rank for that keyword, and we're not one of them because we're showing up red. So once again, I'm going to pull the business in. What I'm doing in between each scan, guys, is actually refreshing the page, because by doing that, we can make sure that we get a perfectly accurate result. Usually they're accurate anyway, but I just want to make absolutely certain. Okay, you can see there that we've got 13 businesses that are all ranking for that keyword rodent control Perth. And again, we're not one of them. If you look at the timestamp, just pay attention to the timestamp in the bottom right hand corner. I think it says there now 7:12 p.m. 16th of July. This is when I'm doing the test. Again, we're going to pull in the name of the business, and this time we're going to go for the keyword, let's do wasp control, northern suburbs. Now we'll put northern suburbs in because here in Perth it's very, very common to actually divide the city up into northern and southern suburbs, and people do actually search on Google using those terms. Okay, so again, you can see we've got 14 or 13 companies actually trying to rank for that keyword, because these pesky wasps are quite a problem here in Perth, so a lot of people want to get rid of them. They tend not to do it themselves because it can be dangerous, so a lot of pest control companies do want to rank for those keywords. And once again, we'll pull in the business name, refresh the page, and this time we're going to do mosquito control in the northern suburbs. Big problem here with mosquitoes, need to be kept under control because they can potentially carry a virus called Ross River virus. So a lot of people do not want mosquitoes around. Consequently, a lot of pest control companies trying to rank for it. Okay, and you can see there 13, 14 and 15 companies across the board there trying to rank for that keyword, and again our business is not ranking. It's no surprise, to be honest guys, because I haven't done any SEO to this business. This particular listing it's a couple of months old, but it's not had any work done on it. It's got a very, very basic .business website, no main website, nothing with any authority, no backlinks, really, it just hasn't got any authority whatsoever. So really not any surprise that we're not seeing any rankings for it. Timber pest inspections. Okay, so again, 1 kilometer grid. So timber pest inspections, basically termite inspections. People come out and inspect the home for termites because we have a big problem here with them. And it's something that people should have done every year. And consequently, a lot of pest control companies trying to rank for those keywords. So as you can see there, 13, 14 and 15 companies again trying to rank for the keyword timber pest inspections, and our business nowhere to be seen. So not a great start, but I actually knew this. I had a strong feeling that we wouldn't be ranking for any of these keywords because I have literally done nothing to attempt to rank for them other than including the keywords on the page on the actual GMB. This time, white ant control, northern suburbs. These are termites basically. They're colloquially known by a lot of people as white ant, even though they're not ants, but people search for that term, so consequently a lot of pest control companies are trying to rank for it. And that'll probably be reflected here in the results. So, okay, 9 and 10 companies, 12 companies there, 11 there. So it's still quite a few that are trying to rank for that keyword, but once again, we are not one of them. So no success there with ranking. So again, pay attention to the timestamp. Now we go to, what's that? It's at 9 o'clock, 16th of July. So not that long afterwards, basically. And we're now going to scan for the same keywords over again. So this time German cockroach control, because this is the first one that we tried. So now we've run the process. This is after running the process to force Google to test us for these keywords. And as you can see, they're starting to pop in. So that looks really, really nice. In fact, it doesn't get any better than that. So that's a nice test. We've actually got we've forced Google to rank us for those keywords so that we can follow up with the procedures that we describe in the course so that you can lock those rankings in. Okay, so that's a pretty big turnaround. You can see I've read before, there were 8 companies trying to rank for that keyword. We've come along and just run this process, and bam, we're actually managing to rank for those, so that we can actually send some. Well, we run a couple of little procedures, put it that way, and we'll lock those rankings in. Okay, so we're now searching for rodent control perth. Now, in the fairness of transparency, here's one that didn't pop, okay? Because every now and again you're going to get one that doesn't pop. About 60% of the keywords you will pop for, okay? But you are going to get some that you aren't going to get a result for, okay? So just be aware of that. I want to be open and transparent with you. Okay, now let's try though the short tail. So that was rodent control perth. So now let's just drop off the geo modifier and just put rodent control and see how we're faring there. Okay, much better start. So this time we're actually ranking for the short tail, but not the long tail, which is kind of weird, but it does happen. Okay, so if you put your keywords in when you run this process, if you buy the course, then do check your short tails, okay, and potentially follow up on the short tail keywords, because often you will you'll actually get a successful test for those short tail keywords, whereas the longer tail ones you're not getting a successful result for. It's kind of, you don't really expect that to happen, but it does. So always make sure you check for those. Okay, so the other thing that we're looking at now is wasp control northern suburbs. Okay, and again we're going to set the grid at 1 kilometer, so we've got an 81 square kilometer range. That's about 45-50 square miles, something of that nature. Okay, so not such a good result this time. A lot of 5s and 6s across the board. Still though, you know, a massive increase on where we were. We're actually up there ranking now, so we can actually do something about that now. Now that we're actually in the maps, we can there's quite a lot of things that we can do to improve on that and to get ourselves ranking in that 3-pack. Okay, let's once again pull the name of the business in, refresh the page so that we get an accurate result. And this time we're going to look at that keyword mosquito control northern suburbs. So let's once again go with the grid size of 9 by 9. I like to work with a 9 by 9 grid because it's a good sort of happy medium. It scans quite quickly and also gives you a pretty good idea of where you're at. Okay, so not a bad start there. Okay, that's pretty good. I mean, we've got a lot of green in the middle, and then just a little bit of that purple color, and then the cyan on the edges, but still plenty of scope to work with that and improve those rankings there. So I'd be pretty happy with that result. That's a nice test. That actually gets us into the map so that we can actually do what we need to do in order to lock those rankings in and build on them. So the next keyword we're going with, once we've pulled in the name of the business again and refreshed the page, is the timber pest inspections. Okay, you'll remember before quite a few companies were trying to rank for this and we weren't successfully ranking for it. I don't actually know if I even have that in the content. I don't think I do. But here we are, we pop in for it. Okay, this, you know, it's only one green pin, the rest of it's those little purple or mauve pins, and then there's a little bit of red as well. So, you know, again, in the fairness of transparency, guys, these are real tests. Okay, I've not fudged this. I could have found loads of really good ones that only popped a sea of green, but that wouldn't be a good representation of what actually happens in reality. And I want to make sure that we give you the true picture. Okay, so these are actually the tests as the keywords came up. These are exactly as I did them. Okay, so trying to recall now what was the last keyword we did. So white ant control northern suburbs is the one that we're going for here. And again, we'll set this to a 9 by 9 grid, 1 kilometer apart, and search, and let's see how this pans out. Okay, so off to a good start here. Oh, you know, a little red pin, could do without those, but still, look at that. I mean, it's still pretty good. And if you look at the timestamp, guys, that was like, you know, it's probably not much over an hour, maybe an hour and a half after we actually did the initial scan. So really, really quick to get these test results. You know, we can get Google forcing us to, or testing us for these keywords that we can then lock in. Okay, so white ant control, we're going to look this time at the short tail because as I said to you before, it's always worth checking the short tail. We found that with the rodent control that worked better on the short tail than the long. So let's see if we get a similar result here. So off to a good start. Anyway, so this is looking positive. This is looking like it's going to be a better result for the short tail than the long tail, and it is indeed. So that concludes the test, guys. I hope you found that informative and just lets you know that there's certain things you can do. If you're up to speed with what Google are doing, there's a lot you can do, and you can do really fast. You just have to know how to do it.